Good evening and welcome to CageworX MMA. My name is Professor Cody Houston and this is Coach Weatherill. Excuse me. I got a request from one of our teachers at a sister gym, and he was asking, via text on some technique work with this Kimura. So I figured this would be a good opportunity. The Kimura is by far one of my favorite attacks and one of my most common attacks. I love hitting Kimuras from literally everywhere. So there's always things you can do to improve the technique of your Kimura and the strength of your Kimura. So I just wanted to touch on that just for a couple minutes real quick. So we're talking Kimura from full guard today. Let's go back just a little bit. Okay, so the first thing is getting my opponent's hand to the mat. Okay, I can't attack a Kimura unless my opponent's hand's off the body generally, or generally what I'm always looking for too is space. If there's air between his elbow and his body, I can get a Kimura. Okay, that's what I'm always hunting for, is if my opponent's elbows leave his body, again, even if his hand is on my body, that's fine. I can still grab a Kimura because there's space. Okay, but a lot of times what we want to do is spread those hands out a little bit first. So, one of the most common ways is sliding through. Okay, but what I really like to do as well is bring my knee up and use that as an assist. Okay, very similar to like a plata, where we bring that knee up and start working for the plata. Okay, I'm going to use the same thing, swimming through, assisting. Okay, so as soon as we hit here, what I want to do is shift onto my hips. Okay, and when I grab, this is very important, this is a big detail about the Kimura. When I grab, I don't want to grab the wrist. What I actually want to grab is the meat of the hand. That's going to make a much stronger grip for you. It allows wrist locks. Plus, if my opponent wants to try to grab their pants to defend, he's got a hand in his hand. Okay? So once we swim over the top, I lock it up. Okay, next step is as we're going to our back, I think this is one of the biggest mistakes people make with their Kimuras. It's very similar to normal plata, again, because it's the same technique, but I'm using my elbow versus my knee. Okay, a lot of guys hit their Kimuras, see the relationship of my elbow to his elbow, and the relationship of my elbow to his shoulder. What I want to fix here is as I'm coming back, the elbow needs to be on the shoulder. Okay, so as I'm dropping back to the ground, I've got all of my body weight putting that shoulder down and trying to put his face into the mat. Okay, the next step, I want to remove as much of my body as possible from underneath of my opponent. So basically, his body is just going to be resting on my inner thigh. Okay, so wrist, threaded up, elbow to shoulder pressure. Okay, remove my body from underneath of his body. Okay, so the next reason I shift my hips out is if he's gripping his pants to defend. What I see a lot of times is guys pulling. That doesn't work. Okay, I want to use my hips. Okay, my hips are strong, my arms are weak. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when I'm shifting for that angle, I'm going to use my hip to break that grip. Way stronger. Okay, and that accomplishes the same thing. I got my hips out from underneath of my opponent. Okay, once we accomplish that, we come to angle. Option one. Another option I really like to use is I scoop my hips out a little bit more, foot goes into the hip. Okay, and then I can use my knee in conjunction with my elbow. Sometimes my knee can even help pressure my elbow into the shoulder. Okay, and then we can isolate. And anytime you're doing a Kimura, there's 1, 2, 3 elbows involved. I want all 3 of those elbows glued as close as tight as possible to my body. You never want to fight a Kimura out here. Okay, that's going to be slippery, and we can transition to other stuff. That's not what I want. I want to finish the Kimura. So I want to keep it tight. Elbow on the shoulder. Okay. So one more time, real quick. So as we're swimming through, I want to use that knee to bring it forward. Okay? I grip the palm instead of the wrist. Lock it up. Okay? Elbow to shoulder pressure. And again, if you use gripping to defend, scoot my hips into it. Okay, that will break a grip very quickly. Then we pivot to angle, perpendicular. Whether I'm on top or bottom, I want a perpendicular angle with my opponent. Okay? Or the second option is foot to the hip, pressure the knee down. Oh, I now got a nice strong Kimura. Okay? the main reason I would lose a Kimura from guard is my opponent's ability to posture. Okay, I'm really rarely concerned with them grabbing their inner thigh because it's just a matter of time before I do break that grip. Okay, so just a couple pointers on my favorite submission, the Kimura. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you, Coach.